Moving problems, moving targets. So I deleted all the other AWOL vision videos because I'm totally fucking lost. I have no idea what's going on. My DirecTV guy is going to come over and replace the dish. That's not the problem. It would show up on all the other TVs if that was the problem. I tend to think it's a software issue. It has to be. It's not a physical defect. It has to be a software issue. It's too random and moving. That it's a moving target. It's not like anytime I turn it on, there it is, because that's not true, which has always confused me, and why I purchased all new HDMI cables. I have an HDMI tester. All of my cables are all minimum at least 8K, backwards compatible all the way to 2.0. All brand new. New switch. New rotating. Every single piece of equipment I have has been plugged into every single separate HDMI port. There's no, when the artifacts show up during Formula One, they show up on HDMI port 1, HDMI port 2, HDMI port 3. They show up with or without a switch. They show up whether the recording is international in Europe or if it's local. And then there aren't any. It has to be a software thing because of the shape, the location. Just like the first projector, the first AWOL vision projector, there was 3 individual defects across my screen. And they were very complicated. They looked like racing track layouts. Okay? That means that mirror, that pixel that's making up that line, all of those are receiving a signal to do that. If they were bad, if the mirrors themselves, the MEMS mirrors, if they were bad themselves, it would show up all the time. Nothing worse than a fucking problem that is just random and bouncing all over the place like a BB in a tin can. I cannot diagnose it. I've tried, and I'm fucking good at that shit. I can't. I've given up. I've literally fucking given up. I didn't call AWOL today because I don't have any fucking information to give them. It's random. I can't justifiably ask AWOL Vision to repair or to replace a projector that I have no idea what the problem is. Is it them or me? That what I can say is that if the projector is, if I record Formula One and I'm seeing the artifacts on my screen, if I unplug it right then, just unplug it, walk that HDMI cable over to this TV right there, plug it in, there's no artifacts. I can tell you right now, if you go on eBay, that television right there, that exact television is going for $5,000. As much as I paid for my projector. That is a very extremely rare Samsung television. I don't think they ever made a better television, to tell you the truth, which is why they're $5,000. You can't even buy a 240 hertz refresh rate television nowadays. Was manufactured at the end of 2015. And if you can find one, they're $5,000. That's for the 65 inch. The 55 inch is $3,000 for the same spec TV in 55 inch instead of 65. But then the next day, when I do the exact same recording on the exact same channel with the exact same gear from the exact same source, there's no artifacts. Or I switch from, I'm watching a recorded session of Formula One, and the artifacts are there. And so I changed channels on my DirecTV. I changed channels over to a Street Outlaws Cash Days, and there's the same defects in the same spot, in the exact same shape, location. And then the next day, when the show comes on, I do the exact same recording on the exact same equipment, and no fucking defects. I know we're headed towards solar maximum right now, but that type of solar interference would not be so consistent. This is like there's a drawing on that DLP chip that's being shown almost. The same exact pixels are being affected when the artifacts happen. They're MEMS. I can't express enough how the DLP chip works, okay? If you look at it under a very powerful microscope, it's little mirrors with a little hole in the middle. And these mirrors move around thousands of times a second, which is why I've always avoided DLP equipment of any kind, because I've never had a DLP product that lasted me more than 2 years. No matter what the cost, no matter who manufactured it, the DLP chip technology is bound to failure. The only reason they don't fail, if you tried to scale up a DLP chip to say a 2 foot by 2 foot object, it would fail within seconds because of the mass of the mirrors. Okay? The lack of mass in the MEMS devices for DLP mirrors is why they don't wear themselves out or just go flying apart, because they have no mass. They're extremely light. But if it was bad, if the mirror was bad and couldn't tilt or whatever, it would be there all the time, and it's not. And if it was a fucking HDMI cord, it would be there all the time, or it wouldn't. When I put, if it's showing the defect and I take that HDMI cord off and I put a brand new HDMI cord on there and the artifacts are still there, it's obviously in the recording. It's in the DirecTV box in the recording. Okay? But why would it record the exact same defect every time? It's impossible. There's a difference between interference and an artifact on your screen. When a MEMS device goes bad, normally you lose 1 pixel at a time, or sometimes more than one, and you see that missing pixel. There's a dot on your screen because that mirror is no longer moving with the rest of them producing a picture. And so you're headed down the road of failure. Once one goes, they fail. It's a cascade. They all start failing. Okay. This is one of the hardest problems I've had to diagnose. It really is. You see, and Steve and those guys, the guys at AWOL Vision never told me what happened with the original projector I sent back. And I asked them could you please inform me on what you found? I got no fucking information from them. They're busy selling projectors. And I think that's horrible, because fucking 2 years from now, if they all start failing, okay, I'm going to be online telling everybody this is why it happened. Because they didn't fucking listen to customers and they didn't correct a problem that was happening, etc., etc., etc. I told one of the guys there originally, I worry about DLP technology because of its failure rate. Okay? That DLP chips do not have a fucking good record. It's a horrible record. Okay? Because of the design. It's not line scanning technology. that uses non-moving parts where you're just simply moving a beam of electrons. No, that's you have a physical mirror moving thousands of times a second. And in order for you to have a defect that is exactly the same shape in exactly the same location from week to week to week, you know you have a problem. You have an intrinsic problem with something. Okay? Now, I would automatically say it's the projector, which is what I got led back to the projector over and over and over in my search. I got led back to the fucking projector. I'm looking at the defects, I unplug it from the projector, I go over, I plug it into that fucking TV, and what do I get? No defects. Those mirrors haven't changed. The mirrors haven't changed. The fucking defect should be there. If it's in the recording of the DirecTV box, okay, the fucking artifacts should be there. If it's a defective box or a defective signal or a defective anything, it should be there. Why is it only showing up when it's plugged into my projector? I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't know what to do. I really don't know what to do. I'm kind of fucking lost. I'm gonna have to call and have a talk to let them know this is what's going on, because I cannot be the only one. I'll guarantee you I'm not the only one. And people that buy these projectors are replacing their televisions. They're not just, you don't buy a system like this just to put on your wall to watch a fucking movie once a week. Okay? This is your entertainment center. This is the device you're using as your main device for watching movies, YouTube, Blu-rays, DirecTV, streaming services, whatever the fuck it is, okay? It is your main source. Just so damn bizarre. I can't fucking figure it out. You know, I even thought originally, oh, there's a hair on there, or the chip is dirty or something, right? When I see the artifact, but it's not there all the time, and it damn sure wouldn't be the same shape all the time, week after week. Not with all those mirrors moving like this. It's very small. It's 1 pixel. These lines that come across and drop down and do the ziggy thing and then go back up and head across, those lines are exactly 1 line of MEMS mirrors wide. 1 pixel band. And for some reason, the projector is interpreting that as something it's not. And therefore, I'm led back to the projector again. I'm constantly led back to the projector. So I have to call them and tell them, look, what do I have to fucking do? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait 1 more week. I'm going to record Formula 1 again, and we'll see if the artifacts show up. If they're in the same place, the same shape, the same everything, then I'm going to call AWOL and insist that they take this projector back, and I'll even send them my fucking DirecTV box with the recording, and they can figure out what the fuck is going on, because it has to be software related. It's not hardware. It's not a cable. It's not the satellite signal. I don't know what it fucking is, because if it was the satellite signal or the box or the antenna or the eye or everything that's been replaced, it would be showing up on the other 2 TVs we have in the house, and it doesn't. It doesn't even show up on a second DirecTV box up in that room where we can watch all the same recordings that me and the old lady do, right? She can watch mine, I can watch hers. When I play my recording, I'm sitting there looking at the defect, it's playing, I go up front, and there it is. Clean as hell, no defects. It's frustrating. It's extremely hard. The old lady will tell you that I need answers to everything. It's one of my faults. I can't have anything happen without diagnosing, dissecting, and finding a reason behind whatever it is. Okay? And so it's driving me fucking crazy. And the worst part is it's you know, I've said over and over again how fucking amazing this product is and how much I love it. Okay? And if anything, I'm glad that it's not a MEMS failure. I don't believe this is a MEMS chip failure. I don't believe that because of the changing attitude. Okay, sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. I have no idea. I kept track of temperature. I even kept track of temperature. Okay? I checked the temperature of the device. I checked the temperature of my DirecTV. I checked the temperature outside on the dish with a fucking laser gun. Okay? And all the variables make no difference in the artifact, where it's located and the shape that it is. It's a very specific shape and location, which takes me again back to the projector. So, I don't know. I'm confused, but I deleted all the other AWOL Vision, unless it's about my first projector that I got that's like, you're going to go back and see shit that's like 8 months old. I might have some AWOL Vision shit there about the first one I had that had all of the big defects. It was really bad. It was really, 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 really bad. Okay? Unwatchable. When I sent it back, they got me another one overnight, and when I first turned it on, everything was beautiful, but the first time I recorded Formula One, the artifacts were back, and I've been dealing with it ever since. Again, takes me back to the projector. So I'll wait a week, I'll record Formula One again. If it happens again, I'll be calling AWOL and saying, look, you have to take this and either fix it, diagnose it, tell me what's going wrong, okay? Because this is what I got my system set up for, and I can't have these ugly fucking artifacts on my screen every time I try to enjoy the reason I bought the goddamn thing in the first place, right? Not for that price point, okay? If this was an $1,100 fucking cheap-ass Amazon piece of crap, okay, but it's not, okay? This is one of the more high-end projectors on the market. So, the quest continues. Frustrating.